longer constrained by physicality. Some aspects of the tzaddik's spirit remain at his resting place, and it wishes to give of itself. However, the degree to which we identify with that holy person is the degree to which the holy person will identify with you. So on Lag BaOmer, when we visit Rabbi Shimon's tomb, we are in essence saying, Rabbi Shimon, you brought inner meaning and reality into the world. We want to see inner meaning and goodness in ourselves and in other people. Please help us do that. And that's what we're celebrating. So wherever we may be on this day, we're on Long Island, if we take a moment to identify with another person's inner godliness around you, you will absorb we will all of us really absorb the profound message of today. So think of someone today in your immediate circle of friends or broader, people you see at work or people you see from time to time, and just stop for a moment and think about the godliness that individual is providing this world. And with that, we will be able to be, in a sense, identifying with the great holiness and blessings of today. Now, since all holy people are connected, we have the custom today also of going to Rabbi Schneerson's resting place. It's called the Ohel. We look forward to doing that, Metz Hashem, later on today, so we can connect to all the holy people with the Rebbe and all the tzaddikim all around the world. Now, earlier on we mentioned on this day there are many who build bonfires. Now, why should this be? Why on earth should we be having? See, fire is associated with dancing. People danced around the fire. And this is what happened last night in Brooklyn, on Long Island, and even this evening, and all across the world, there were bonfires lit up in honor of Lag BaOmer. We commemorate this day, and this tradition goes back hundreds of years, that on this day, when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai revealed his chief mystical work, the Zohar, it's a day filled with the explosion, so to speak, of fire. Now, what's the message? What's the mysterious inner meaning of all of this fire, of these bonfires? To share with you, I'd like to go back to 3,500 years ago, to the time of young Abraham in Mesopotamia. You remember him? He's the father of Judaism, father of monotheism. He left had gone on to recognize God in this world. He broke with his father's idolistic and paganistic ways. How did Abraham do this? He looked at the sun, he looked at the moon, he looked at the stars, the heavenly bodies, and he concluded that it would be ridiculous to think that inanimate, man-made idols had control over things. And as he looked around the world, the more he contemplated, the more evidence he saw there was a design in this world. And he concluded that there must be a creator who controls all. The world around him thought otherwise, and even united to build a tower, remember the Tower of Babel, to try to go and fight their conception of God. But the more Abraham saw the world, the more he realized that everything is guided by the hand of Creator. Abraham's discovery is expressed through a metaphor that sheds light on the deeper meaning of fire and why we have bonfires on Lag BaOmer. Abraham, coming to recognize God, is compared in the great holy books in the Medrash to a wanderer who sees a mansion engulfed in flames and subsequently concludes that the mansion must have an owner. The master of the house, of this burning house, then sees the wanderer and introduces himself. He says, I'm the owner. And so too, says the Medrash, metaphorically, Abraham similarly looked at the world and concluded that it must be a master, and merited the master's acknowledgement, and God spoke to him, and thus began Abraham on his life. Now, this is a difficult parable to understand. A burning mansion is more a sign of neglect than of ownership. Why did Abraham, the wanderer of the parable, see that pointed to a master? You see, the Hebrew language, the language of creation according to Jewish tradition, provides us with the key to unlocking this metaphor. Every physical object or phenomenon, in addition to its physical reality, conveys a spiritual comment as well. See, the Hebrew word for thing is davar. It's a generic word that captures all physical things, is davar. Now, davar derives from a Hebrew root from dibur, which means to speak. This is no coincidence. It teaches us that every davar, everything, expresses a dibur, a spoken message. Every physical object or phenomenon, in addition to its physical reality, conveys a spiritual comment on existence. It's an amazing concept. For example, a rose on the surface is aesthetically pleasing and fragrant. But the rose also, if you look at it carefully, there's a deeper side to a rose. Intricacy, the symmetry that points to an intelligent design and a designer. The external message is readily apparent, but the inner meaning of any object can be elusive, and sometimes one needs to develop a certain sensitivity before we can understand the dibur, the message that lies behind every davar, every different single thing. So let's go to this metaphor. The fire of the mansion was an allusion to the dibur in every object of the world. Abraham saw the mansion, the world, on fire. Fire is a unique phenomenon. It has the power to transform everything that comes into contact with and turn it into fire itself. The release of the latent energy in the object cast into the flames gives rise to a more powerful fire. So fire reveals that within everything, in addition to the practical function of a davar, of a thing, there lies a hidden energy that when you tap it properly gives off light that was not apparent when you looked at it as just simply as an object. Therefore, the energy is the metaphor for dibur, the message embedded in everything in this world. Abraham was able to look at the world, in this metaphor as a mansion, and see the fire burning. He could see that as a child he had contemplated the moon, the sun, the stars, and concluded they were too sophisticated to be just a product of chance. There had to be a creator, a designer, who fashioned everything in the world and continues to control it. For Abraham, the sun served more than a practical external function of just simply giving off warmth and light. It broadcasted a deeper message that something so awesome could not have just come about by itself. See, physics teaches us the laws of entropy. Left alone, things in nature move from a state of higher order to a lower order, marching towards chaos. Abraham realized it's impossible to understand that the world is a product of chance. To Abraham, everything in the world expressed a deeper meaning, an intelligent design, and a designer who continues to guide his creation. Therefore, Abraham saw the mansion burning. The flames, however, were not flames of destruction. Instead, they represented the hidden energy in the mansion of the world, the inner message, the dibur, that points to a greatness of Creator who could form such a place. The figurative flames whisper that in addition to the simple function of every davar in the world, there lies a deeper meaning that points to God for those like Abraham who had the eyes to see it. Therefore, it's no wonder that we commemorate today, Lag BaOmer, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's day of his passing with fire. You see, Rabbi Shimon lived in both realms at the same time, in the world of physical, as we know it, and in the realm where spirituality, in everything physical, the dibur of every davar was in his world was so apparent. To Rabbi Shimon, the world was ablaze with spiritual energy, abounding with the tongues of fire, whispering messages about the Creator. Not surprisingly, therefore, Rabbi Shimon gave us the Zohar, the book of mystical inner meaning that belies everything. The ancient, the mystical, and the spiritual certainly have applications in our modern times. The practical challenge of today, you and me, for us to celebrate and to think about today in between the bagels and the cream cheese, is to see the potential energy in every object and in every person, instead of being fooled by the facade of the external. Spirituality and providence are everywhere, even for those who are not Rabbi Shimons, not just for the great rabbis. However, we can either smother the flames of the inner meaning by covering it up, or we can either forget about it, try to conceal and say, everything's just by chance, or Lag BaOmer today invites us to look deeper and to hear the ever-present broadcast of Hashem throughout creation. So the flames of Lag BaOmer call to us and whisper, there is more to every person and every object that meets the eye, that one should never give up, even if a situation looks hopeless. Let's learn to look beyond the superficial of life, of persons around us, and acknowledge the deeper realms of existence that each and every one of us have. Let's embrace worlds that we cannot see or touch, but which are in every bit as real as the one that you and me live in. And this is what Lag BaOmer is all about. And let us make this a day, even if we don't have a bonfire, but you can join online, watch the big parades out of Crown Heights, Brooklyn, on Eastern Parkway, starting at 10 a.m. And once again, I'd extend an invitation as part of seeing the good so inherent in everyone around us. We began the Good Deed Awards for Long Island teenagers some 24 years ago. And what happened 24 years ago, sadly, is going on today as well. When we hear about young men and women involved in illegal activities, the gangs, all kinds of stuff here in Long Island, but you could say, well, that's the end of it. There's no more future. All the young people are all off the walls. It's not true at all. Therefore, each year we set aside time from our own very busy activities at the Chabad House, and we reach out to every single public school here in Nassau County, public and private school, religious school, of all faiths, and we ask, please identify those good boys and girls, young men and women who are doing altruistic activities. And we will be celebrating that together. VIPs of industry, of government, of the judiciary, judges, all kinds of wonderful people come. They spend time together at our Chabad House at 261 Willis Avenue. You are invited to come. There are no charge. Just come in, sit in the audience, enjoy, bask in the knowledge of knowing there's a fire of refreshed, focused that young people have, and they are making a difference in this world. Join us. As well, if you are unable to join us, you can have the benefit of sitting at home or watching on your smartphone and watch this live, broadcasting live at on the Facebook at Rabbi Pearl. Just go to our page, Rabbi Pearl, you'll have a link there, or directly to livestream.com. Again, Rabbi Pearl for the Good Deed Awards event, and you will be surprised, you will be uplifted, and you will see that the same fire of hope that Abraham saw 3,500 years ago continues to burn brightly with hope, with caring, and with joy right here on Long Island. This is your host, Rabbi Pearl, wishing you a good Yontif on Lag BaOmer. Mazel tov to the Triggerbuff family, the Sharfstein family. Mazel tov to all the mothers on this Mother's Day. God bless you with long life to see much nachas from all your children and grandchildren. Have a wonderful day, and sei gesund and a good year.